Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome. This is another Free Training Friday put on by the Cireson support team. My name is Steve Wright, the support manager for Cireson, and with us today is Justin Workman, our senior support analyst. And we've got an action-packed 30 minutes planned. I am going to, it's 6:05 right now, so I was going to give it another 1 minute just to let the last few people who are trying to log in get into the webinar, and then we'll start. So if you bear with me, just give me 1 minute from now. That'll be, my clock says 6:03, so it'll be 6:04. We'll get this going. Thanks very much. Okay, my clock says 6:04. I'm going to get going here. Thanks again. If you just joined us, welcome again to Free Training Friday. My name is Steve Wright, support manager at Cireson, and with me is Justin Workman. Are you there, Justin?
Hello.
He's on. Here he goes. So yeah, welcome. We're looking forward to an action-packed 30 minutes with us just to go through the Service Management Portal, SMP 9. And the question is, now that you have it, now what do we do? So just a quick outline of the agenda today. We'll be looking at the latest and baseline release lanes that we have with this product, as well as the features that came out in version 9 of the product, the baseline release, and also some of the additional features that are featured in our what is called now the latest lane. So we'll explain that in the first one, latest and baseline release lanes. We'll be doing demos on some of those features in the baseline, and also some of the features that have been brought out recently in the sort of latest release stream. And then at the end, we'll have a window of time for question and answers. But really, you feel free to ask any questions in the questions field within the GoToWebinar session. If there's anything that we can address right there and then, we'll definitely address it. And also, we have a link to the community where this discussion can continue after the webinar's finished. If you've had a chance to digest it, got questions that come up after the fact, we'll be more than happy to answer them. So any questions that you ask will be answered. We'll get to you either in the webinar itself or after the fact through the community discussion page. So definitely ask those questions. Well, let me start with a question of my own. It'd be interesting to see of the audience that we have with us today, how many people are using version 9 baseline release or even previous. So I'm going to throw up a quick poll, and if you've got a second to just, I'll give you 30 seconds to answer this question, which is which SMP version do you use in production right now? And we've got there from version 7, which is quite a way back, version 8, and version 9, both baseline and the latest. So I am going to give you 15 seconds or so to answer this question. If you've got an opportunity to push an option, go for it right now. Okay, we're collecting responses right now. 3 more seconds. 2 and 1. Okay, we've got the overwhelming majority in here. That's great. I'm going to close the poll right now. Let me close it here. Great. And What happens when I close the poll? Do you not see the results? Let me see if I can. It's Justin. What do you see on the screen? Do you see my screen
Just
sharing
the
still?
white, just the white screen.
Oh, just what? Let me show my screen again then.
There you go. I've shared the poll results.
Oh, thank you, thank
Yeah.
you. There we go. So, um, good balance. I think that's probably what we would guess. In production, a lot of 8 versions. I'm glad to see very little in version 7, and a good chunk of the version 9 users are in the baseline version of the product, which is a pretty good spread. So that's good. Very interesting. Thanks for taking the time to do that. I've got one more poll in my presentation, and it shouldn't be any harder than that one. So that'll be great. Let me get back to, oh, there it is. Let me go back to my screen here. Can you stop sharing the poll,
Yeah.
Justin?
There you
All
go.
right, cool. All right, back to this. All right, cool. So let's talk about the release lanes. Real quick, there's an article on the downloads page when you go to the page to get the product that links to a reference article. And in a nutshell, the baseline is the major release of the base product, the 9 signifying a major release from Cireson. And in the base product major release, which showcased in the CMDB portal, and that has elements of the dynamic data features and CI editing, configuration item editing, and that really makes up the baseline product. In the latest track, it's essentially the major release base product with new features. And in our latest release of that track, version 9.2, the 0.2 designating that it's a latest release, we have a couple of exciting features around the query picker. I think I've seen one, and CRs, change requests from advanced request offerings, CRs from ARO, which is released in 9.2. And we'll be covering some of those with a demo with Justin in a few minutes, right there. So that's it's a nice way for us to kind of have our customers on a major release-based product. Hot fixes that come out on either baseline or release are cumulative, and on the baseline track, they are essentially fixes to the base product. They're not introducing new features. So that gives us an opportunity for customers who are looking for some of the new features that are coming out to choose the latest lane, either to pick up that feature or to test it in non-production environments, and see if it's the right fit for them, if it's bringing the features that they want to see and the results they want, and then they can opt to move that latest track into a production environment. So it gives us a chance to just work with the both kind of speeds, if you like, with regards to our customer base. And then we've seen just empathetically going through this transition from 7 to 8 to 9, that the service manager portal brings a lot of value to the SCSM experience for our customers. And it's also prompted the question that we want to find out what else do people use alongside Service Manager in the System Center space. And this is the second poll, and the picture on the left-hand side there is actually a 3D printout, 3D model that was made from one of our community members. And if you're an Avenger fan, you know what it is. You can see what it is. If you're not, please forgive us. It's the gauntlet from the Avengers movie series, the Endgame series. And the stones in this one actually represent the actual elements of System Center, whether you're using Orchestrator, Operations Manager, Service Manager, and so on. And I'd like to find out just how many. The second poll I've got here is to find out what other System Center apps do you use in your environment. So I'll share that poll. Make sure that's on the screen here. And the options are Configuration Manager, Operations Manager, Orchestrator, all of the above. You've got all the stones in your gauntlet, or none. You just got Service Manager in your environment, or you're not sure. So please cast your votes now and let us know whether you guys are like Thanos out there with a gauntlet full of stones. Okay, we got about 80% of the votes cast right now, so I will close the poll in a second. You might have to do the same thing you did before for me, Justin, to publish it.
Yeah,
I'm
no
sure.
worries.
So, okay, 2 more seconds. And all right, cool. I am going to close the poll now. Alrighty, and with it closed, there it is there.
Yeah.
So we got overwhelming, a lot of Thanases out there, all of the above, and a few that have explicitly got configuration manager and operations manager alongside service manager. So thank you for that. That's it's insightful. It gives us an idea of just the maturity in the system center space of the customers that are on the call today. So I'm going to kick that back over to my screen. Can we stop that and then we'll go back to the slide deck? I think the next one is to slide over to the demo. So Justin, I'm going to hand it over to you. We're just going to do a walkthrough of the V9 features.
Yep. So can you make me a presenter, Steve?
I'll stop. Yep. You're not a presenter. Make presenter. There we go.
All right. Yeah. Let me pick my screen. All right. Let me know if you can
see. Yep. You see it. That's
okay.
Great. It's coming up nicely.
Great. So, like you said, I want to go over the features first that came out in the baseline in 9x of the portal, and the big thing in 9x was what we're calling the CMDB portal, which is comprised of dynamic data as well as CI editing. So prior to 9, the only kind of interface we had into config items other than users was this interface right here. And I'm going to just select printer, do a blank search. I only have one printer in my environment. So this was pretty much all we had. You get this window, which displays the properties of the printer just fine, but I can't customize this. I can't edit these properties if I need to. I can't really interact with this CI in any way. So what we did in version 9 of the portal was we introduced the ability to edit CIs now. And if you look at these views that we've added out of the box for the new config item feature in 9x, it matches what we have in the console. So I'm going to switch over here real quick and just show for configuration items in the console. By default, you have builds, business services, computers, environments, printers, software, and users. And that's exactly what we've replicated here. So all of the out of the box CIs that are displayed in the console is what we've brought forth into the portal now.
Cool.
And so making that comparison, like I said, with the printer, now I can go into all printers, and you'll see I just have the one printer. And if I click through this grid now, rather than just this box that I can't do anything with, I actually get a form. And once again, these CI classes that are out of the box come with a little bit of a customized form. But it will dynamically generate a form for custom CI classes as well. So if you have your own custom objects, you can create forms, you can customize them, you can edit them. In fact, you can have tasks. And I just want to show a quick example. This is the default form for the printer class. And I've actually customized a form, and I just want to show real quick that you can in fact customize class forms from the portal. And it's similar if you've customized work item forms in the past. It's the same process. You go into scripts, forms, templates. And what I did for the printer, we don't offer a printer form that you can customize out of the box, but you can author your own form. What I did was I took the computer form, and then I went into custom space and config item. This is the spot to keep the configuration item forms in the new portal.
And that's a new folder specifically for config items in custom space now.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what I did was I opened up this computer form. I changed it to the way I wanted the form to look, and then I renamed it to match the class name of the class that I'm looking at here, which is Active Directory Printer. So I have edited the form. I'm going to rename this so we get my custom form targeting the AD printer class. And then if I reload the page now, I should get my custom form. You can see history's gone away, and now the properties changed. So now I get description, and once again, the idea behind that is so you can turn these fields off or on. You can condense the fields you want. As you saw with the printer, there was a lot of extra fields that maybe I want them, maybe I don't. But the idea is I can come in here and customize the form for an out-of-the-box CI class, and give just the properties that I want. Additionally, now we can run tasks. If you're familiar with custom tasks in the work item or out-of-the-box tasks, we don't offer out-of-the-box tasks for the CI classes because there's so many. But you can write custom tasks in the context of the CI class. So I have written one for the Microsoft AD printer class. I'm going to save my custom JS. And once again, that's the same process. I've just gone in here and edited my custom JS. Same process as editing custom tasks for work items that we're all used to. And so I'm going to do a hard refresh, and I should get that task show up. There it is. Click my printer task. There it is. All right. So that's once again in the context of the class that I've specified in the task. So I get all of the properties in the view model. If you're familiar with customizing tasks, you get all the properties available in the context of this class. And so, like I said, you can also do custom classes, and I just want to show quickly the process to sync your custom classes. That's here in dynamic data.
Okay.
Admin settings, dynamic data. And so from here, I always prefix my classes with my initials. And so that's what mine look like. So all my custom CI classes are brought through. But additionally, if you wanted to add another class, I'm going to do Apple today. So I'm just going to quickly show I have an Apple class, MT JKW Apple. I can just start looking for it. There it is, Apple. So if I was to, I'm going to update that. If I was to save this, it's going to warn me that it's going to restart the platform cache, which is the service that actually not only caches these classes, it syncs these classes, but it also serves the data back via OData. I'm not going to do that right now. I don't want to restart my platform just yet, but I just want to reiterate once again, it syncs these classes into the service management database, and then the platform cache is also responsible for serving them back via the OData widgets. So when you click on all printers, for example, like I did earlier, the platform cache service is actually hosting this data. But now that I've synchronized my Apple class, I want to quickly show how I can get access to see my custom CIs. So I'm going to add, this is just a standard dashboard page that we've had for quite some time. And I'm going to add a standard OData table widget. And if you're syncing a custom class into the platform, you're going to access it by using this platform/API URL, and that's just pointing to your server /platform/API, which I'll quickly show is an API endpoint inside the platform. Or I've got that backwards. And it gives you all of the entities, all the classes that are available within the platform. So this is the same list that was just shown in that tab. So there are other things, hardware asset data, all the asset management classes, for example, are all there. But my custom classes, most importantly, are here, and here is Apple. When you're configuring one of these OData widgets, you want to make sure you click filter by current language. If you don't, any other languages you have installed in the portal will get replicated, so it will just generate a lot of unnecessary rows in
by
your OData
language.
widget. Yeah, and you can, if you're familiar with OData queries, you can use OData queries to filter the data coming back from this collection. I'm not going to add any filters today, but that's definitely something to check out. And there's really there's some good resources out there on using OData queries. And then here you can check the fields that you want. I'm going to select fruit ID since it's an apple, and display name and status. All right. And then you see here I get a list of my apples by, with all the properties that I selected. I'm going to save that. Once again, this is just our standard dashboard page. So this is an OData table widget, and I've targeted the platform and specifically the Apple class, jkw.apple. So now that I have this saved, I can click through this grid, and it's going to take me to a dynamic data form. Once again, I said it's going to generate this form on the fly. And I'm not going to today, but I could also go through the process of customizing this form, show any properties that I want to show. This fruit ID and status are the only new properties on my specific class. But if you had an additional set of properties, you could customize the form, disable them, enable them, choose your enum lists, whatever. You can customize the form for your custom class now. So that's very, very powerful. Because customizing the form, if you've ever done custom CI form authoring for the console, it's kind of a headache in the authoring tool. So doing it now in the portal makes it a lot easier. And once again, I'll quickly show that you can add custom tasks once again in the context of this CI. So I'm going to just change this task real quick and just show that my custom class, I do have access to add tasks in the context of my custom object. So now I have an Apple task that targets the Apple class. All right, and that's pretty much the version 9X, version 9.0 CMDB portal features that were introduced in 9.
Very cool.
I do want to quickly show like I said, the platform cache is responsible for syncing the data as well as serving the data back. But I also want to show that with the platform service off, which I did stop it, right? Yeah, I stopped it. You'll see now in the new config item views, there won't be any data here. And I want to show this just to give people comfort, knowing that if the platform is misbehaving or it's not functioning, something's not working, the portal still functions. The platform cache service tends to just add functionality, not break any of the core functionality. I just have this filtered.
Yep.
I'll quickly clear that filter so you can see. I still have all my work items. Everything still functions as you would expect. My widget here that I created is going to be the only thing really. Anything that's looking at that OData is not going to come back, but everything else will work as you would expect with the platform service off.
And the big telltale is that in your admin settings you won't have those two fields.
Correct. So from admin settings, platform cache version and platform version are both blank because those are coming from the platform. So if you see those broken, you can rest easy knowing, if you see those not showing up, you can rest easy knowing that the rest of the portal isn't affected. But if you're looking for this new functionality that we introduced in 9.0, it's going to be missing. So, and then the one other thing that, and this will be our segue into kind of the next features. The other thing that the platform does is it serves back this features window. So I've started my platform up, so I'm expecting that this is going to come back pretty soon. But if the platform's off, you also won't see these feature sliders, which hopefully are going to show up soon now that I've started it back. See what my platform status is. Oh, it's stopped. Let me see.
The demo gremlins.
Right, I should have never. All right, it says it's running now. Let's see. There we go. It's starting back up now.
Starting up.
So, like I said, the platform, what it does is shows all this new functionality. it both synchronizes the classes that we see here. I just want to reiterate this once more while I'm waiting. You can add any class, custom, out of box, whatever, add the classes here. Another thing that we can do with the platform now is we've added these 3 buttons here. So if you are having platform issues, or maybe some of your classes are syncing and some aren't, we do have some additional buttons here. And once again, these depend on the platform to be running, but these are helpful in troubleshooting platform connectivity. Check and see where we're at here. Should be up. That looks good. All right, so I'm going to go to features. And from there, now you see that I have the feature. So I know my platform is working and happy. So that takes me to the next feature that I wanted to show off, which is the new query picker that was introduced in 9.1x. Right now I have it off. So I'm going to quickly show the old style query picker that we had in request offerings. I'm going to go to this request offering, and it's just very, very simple, just showing a few users here. But the old way, you could click through here, you could filter and pick people, but you had to kind of keep an idea of what you'd clicked, who you'd clicked, whatever, whatever object you're targeting with these query pickers, you had to keep an eye, keep in mind what you'd done. Obviously, you can see these are still selected, but there's no way to know what's going on. So this is the old style, and with the new style, it's going to give you an indication of who you've picked so far. All right, so I'm going to turn that on, save, go back to the same request offering. Now you see I've got same request offering, different query picker. So now I can select, and you see as I select the people, they show up. I don't have to try to remember who all I've picked. This show more, as you saw, I had 133 users coming through. So the show more is more similar to the old style. I can also filter here, select, select, select. One of the cool things about this one is if I was going to if I wanted to pick an area code or something, since I've got phone numbers showing, I picked the wrong one. But I could, regardless of, yeah. The idea here is though that if I had several users in the same area code, or if it was, if I was filtering on names or whatever, I could just quickly select all, confirm, and they'll all show up here. I didn't have the ability to select all in the old one. So once again, just some new functionality, new features that the new query picker bring forth.
Very quick. It's a quicker way to get that information in.
Right. And then, so this is what was introduced in 9.1. That was the big feature in 9.1. And then now in 9.2, the new feature is, like Steve said earlier, change requests from a request offering. So I just want to quickly show if I was going to go create a new request offering, a new advanced request offering even. When I go to select my template, now I have change request template as an option. I could select my CR templates, and I'm not going to do it now. I've got one pre-created, but I can now create a change request from an advanced request offering. And I'm just going to show that real quick. If I go back to home and I have this create a change request offering, I'm going to give it a quick title and description, pick a date of tomorrow, save, and then we'll quickly see that it generates a change request using a change request template from an advanced request offering. Okay, there's cool. My CR. Just want to quickly show it did create the CR with my title and description with this date that I selected, used a template with my MA. So very cool. Now that we can create CRs. One word of warning with adding the advanced request offering.
Yes, the MP.
Yeah, importing the management pack. If you go, and I wanted to quickly to show how you would tell what version you have. So if you go to management packs, you can see what version. When you import this management pack, It will touch the last modified on every work item in your environment, so that's something to be aware of. But you can quickly tell if you have an older version, if if your versions are out of sync. This is one way. You just go to act like you're going to import it. You don't actually have to import it. You can see I'm up to date, but you may want to check and see what version you have. And if you're not, you want the CR feature, definitely get that imported. But like I said, be mindful of when you do that, because it is going to touch every work item. All right.
Very cool. And that was a very quick whistle-stop tour through both version 9 and the baseline, and also the features that are added. It's great. There's a couple of questions that were asked along the way, and I think you've actually covered them as you were going through the presentation, Justin. So awesome job on that. I'm just checking. There was a question. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll just ask it with you, Justin. Is there a possibility to prevent the new object picker loading all objects
Yep,
at the
absolutely.
start
Absolutely.
as
So
we're filtering it?
yeah, you would add additional filter criteria. In fact, I had to do that myself. I have, quite a few users for testing, and so as you can see, I've only got 133 here. If I go check here, I've got 6,000, 6,600. So what I did to do that is I just used additional filter criteria. If I look at my publish request, pick a user, edit advanced request offering, I'll just quickly show what I did here.
Okay.
I used Office. All my users in my lab are randomly generated, and so they all kind of have random data. But what I did was to configure that prompt, configure additional criteria. This is in request offering. I did Office contains Oklahoma. That's where I'm at. So I did Office contains Oklahoma, and that slimmed that 6,600 down to just like 130, whatever it was.
Gotcha.
I hope that
Gotcha.
helps.
Yeah, I think that's in the ballpark for the answer there.
And
One
you
other
can
question
use
that just
any of the, I just want to say real quick, you can use any of the properties that are available on whatever CI class you pick. So I'm picking user, so I have all the standard user properties. But if I was to select, printer, for example, which is the other example I showed earlier, uh, of all classes, printer, now I can pick printer properties. Just
properties
want to
as
just
well.
quickly show that. Yeah.
Cool. Can you populate a manual activity description from the change request description?
Absolutely, absolutely. So that would be in multiple mapping. So here's my create a change request. Give my console a second to refresh here. Edit advanced request offering. I just didn't map it, but in multiple mapping, I could go to, here's the manual activity. I could go down here to description mapped and then select my prompt. So there's the description I added. So
Okay.
yeah, and then I can save that. And then if I restart the cache builder, et cetera, go back through the process, yeah, then the MA would have the same description. But you can add additional prompts, just like any request offering, add additional prompts and then only map that prompt to the MA description. But definitely you can map MA properties, or whatever's on the template. You can map those properties as well.
Gotcha. Is that the same with request activity?
With I assume you're talking about review activity. So for approvals, yeah, you can map descriptions or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. I think we got the question answered. Thank you very much. Got some feedback on that. That's great. That's really helpful. I thought I'd grab that while we're in the zone here.
Yep.
As we got some questions coming in right at the end. I think this is pretty much the Q&A section. So so in 9x we can use advanced request offering for change request. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. I think we've got that. Justin, it's 37 minutes after the hour, so I'm going to let me.
You want me to give you a presenter back?
Yeah, I've enjoyed this. It's been good, and there's some questions coming in as they come in, and I definitely want to be respectful of that. So, let me just go back here, and my last kind of slide here, and I'll be very quick on this, is really just to let you guys know, let you know that we want to hear from you, both with regards to our community. We have advisory teams and regional groups set up within our community, and just within all the discussion threads, definitely want to make sure that we can interface and get any questions, any concerns, roadmap ideas, places where you're going with the product, where we're going with the product, discussed with your customer base. And also to that end, we're introducing customer success contact times. So we're getting together with companies, with our customers, just on a higher level, just to get a sense of, again, the roadmap that we're on, the roadmap that our customers are on, and just any questions, concerns, issues around the Cireson product range. And as well, we offer great consultation and training. Obviously, as customers, you may have been exposed to that through various classes that we offer, webinars, as well as consulting time with our consulting team. So we definitely want to make sure we hear from our customers. I've put the link on the discussion thread link that is in the community for this event. I'll be heading over there right after this. Happy to answer any or field any questions that come in on the back of the webinar that we did. We kept it punchy. We try and keep it within half an hour. So thank you for being with us, for going over. And again, any questions that you have with regards to contacting Cireson, best email is team@cireson.com. And with that, just remind you to say thank you again for your time, wherever you are in the world watching this, and we really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to be with us today on a Friday. So enjoy the weekend. Justin, thank you very much for your help and an excellent walk through the product.
Thanks.
And on that note, we'd like to just say thank you and have a great weekend.
Yep, thanks guys.
Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.